Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Power 3 podcast. This is your host, Sean, aka Bishop, and I'm here to give you the top 25 in college football today. Appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in today. It's been a great weekend thus far, and so let's go ahead and get it started for the top 25 in college football. So, again, good morning, and let's get it started. Hope everybody's having a great weekend thus far, and we're going to go ahead and get it crunk and get it started with today's top 25 games in the NCAA college football. First, let me start off by saying one game has already been played, of course, and that game was yesterday, and that was the number 7 Louisville Cardinals playing unranked Duke, and of course Louisville steamrolled them 24-14 in that game in the final. That puts Louisville at 4-1. So moving on over to today's game. Today we have a lot of games. It should be a lot of great games, a lot of conference games and things of that nature. So with that being said, here we go. First game we have at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time is on ABC. It's the number 3 ranked Clemson Tigers playing against unranked North Carolina State. The North Carolina State is visiting Clemson. North Carolina State is 4-1. Clemson is 6-0. I'm gonna pick the Clemson Tigers to beat North Carolina State 35-14. Then we have Kansas State visiting my beloved Oklahoma Sooners. That game is at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Central Time on ESPN. The Sooners are ranked 19. Kansas State, this is a conference game. They are unranked. The Sooners are 3-2, as well as the Kansas State Wildcats. Of course, I'm going to pick my beloved Sooners to win that game. This game is going to be 45-14 Sooners over the Kansas State Wildcats. Then we have number 20 West Virginia visiting the unranked Texas Tech Red Raiders. That game is at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time on FS1. The Mountaineers are 4-0. Texas Tech are 3-2. Another conference game right here. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick the West Virginia Mountaineers, though, to win this game. Yeah, I'm going to pick West Virginia to win this game. This game is going to be 37-21 West Virginia over Texas Tech. Then we have an amazing game, one of the best games of this weekend. The number 1 ranked team in the nation, the Alabama Crimson Tide, who are 6-0 versus the number 9 Tennessee Vols, who are 5-1. That game is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central Time on CBS. This should be a great game, but I have to go with the Crimson Tide. Right now, Nick Saban is unstoppable right now. I don't know if they'll lose a game this season, including the national championship. So with that being said, this game should probably be a close game, but we don't know. We just got to see how they fare. But with that being said, like I said, I picked the Crimson Tide. That game, 42-28, Crimson Tide over the Volunteers. Then we have the number 10 ranked Nebraska visiting unranked Indiana Hoosiers. Nebraska is 5-0. This game is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time through 2:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN2, as well as on ABC. I'm going to pick the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They're looking good. They are not looking as good as they used to back in the day, but I am still picking the Nebraska Cornhusker. With that, I'm going to give them the win 35-21 Nebraska over Indiana. Then we have the unranked Kansas Jayhawks visiting the number 11 ranked Baylor Bears. That game is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central Time on FS1. The Baylor Bears are 5-0. This is a conference game as well. Kansas Jayhawks, they're 1-4. They're really not looking good. I don't see that coach being in Kansas too much longer with a 1-4 record. Of course, I'm going with the Baylor Bears. They should beat Kansas 49-10 over the Kansas Jayhawks Baylor. Then I'm looking at the unranked Wake Forest, who are 5-1, playing against 14-ranked Florida State Seminoles, who are 4-2. That game is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. Like I said, Florida State at 4-2. Wake Forest is 5-1. I'm still going with Florida State. Wake Forest cannot mess with Florida State. I don't feel, even though Florida State is not the Florida State of old, I still don't think they can beat Florida State. So I'm looking at Florida State winning this game, 28-21 over Wake Forest. Then we have the unranked North Carolina Tar Heels visiting the number 16 ranked Miami Hurricanes, who are 4-1, who they took their loss to. Or they took their loss from the Florida State Seminoles. That game is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN2, ABC as well. I'm picking Miami over North Carolina. That's just a gimme. That game, I look at it being that's going to be a close game, though, I think, because North Carolina is not as bad as the record shows. North Carolina is pretty decent this year. So I'm going to pick this game to be 28-24 Hurricanes over the Tar Heels. Then we have listen well. Then we have the number 24 Western Michigan Broncos. This is the top 25. Western Michigan Broncos visiting the Akron Zips. Either way, this game is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Central Time on CBS. Akron is 4-2. Eastern Michigan is 6-0. I have never watched this team play before, nor have either one of these teams, Akron. So I'm just gonna go with the team that's ranked, Western Michigan, and they're 6-0. So I don't know if they're high flying. I don't know if they can put up, I don't know if they can put up a bunch of points. So I'm just gonna say this game is gonna be 42-28, Western Michigan. Then we have the number 17 Virginia Hokies visiting Syracuse. That game is at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:45 Central Time on ESPNU. Virginia Tech is 4-1. Syracuse is 2-4. You got to go with Virginia Tech. The old school of the alumni school of Michael Vick. You got to go with Virginia Tech. That game is going to be 30-28. 30-28 Virginia Tech over the Orange. Then you have Missouri Tigers versus the number 18 Florida Gators. Missouri, this game is at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Missouri is 2-3. The Florida Gators are 4-1 on the SEC Network. This game is going to be on the SEC Network. There's always an upset game through the weekend. I don't think this will be it, though. I'm going to pick the Gators. I'm going to pick the Gators over the Missouri Tigers, 35-17 over Missouri. Then you have the number 21 ranked team, Utah Utes, visiting the Oregon State Beavers. That game is at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central Time on the PAC Network. The Beavers are 2-3. The Utes are 5-1. Got to go with Utah. That's just... Yeah. You just got to go with Utah right now. Oregon State, they have a decent team, but I don't think they have enough to take out the Utah. So with that being said, I'm looking at that game to be 52-28. 52-28 Utah. Then we have the number 12 Ole Miss Running Rebels versus the number 22 Arkansas Razorbacks. Running Rebels are 3-2. The Arkansas Razorbacks are 4-2. This game is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. I'm going to go with the Arkansas Razorbacks with the upset over Ole Miss. They're playing in Arkansas. I looked at Arkansas upsetting the Ole Miss Running Rebels. So with that being said, that game is going to be 35-31 Arkansas over Ole Miss. That's my upset game so far. Then we have Tulsa visiting the number 13 ranked Houston Cougars. And this game is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN2. The Cougars are 5-1. They're ranked 13. Tulsa is 4-1 and they're unranked. I'm going with Houston. They have a high-powered offense. They got a great quarterback. Houston is the team to beat in this one. So I'm looking at Houston putting up 42-17 over Tulsa. Then we have the number 2 ranked team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes, versus the number 8 team in the nation, the Wisconsin Badgers. Now, this game is another big game this weekend, of course, because both teams, Wisconsin is 4-1, Ohio State is 5-0, but both teams are good teams. And this game is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, of course, on ABC, on one of the prime networks, because this is expected to be a great game. Wisconsin is good, but I don't think they can stop Urban Meyer out there in Ohio State. Ohio State is doing just as well as them Crimson Tide, Alabama boys out there. So I look at Ohio State defeating Wisconsin. It's going to be a good game. It's probably going to be a close game. But I still got Ohio State beating Wisconsin 42-31. 42-31, Ohio State over the Wisconsin Badgers. Then you got the Wisconsin. I mean, come on. Ohio State got J.T. Barrett. I mean, that dude is a beast. Right now, he's one of the Heisman hopefuls. Then the last game for the weekend out of the top 25 is Colorado State, who is unranked, playing the number 15 ranked Boise State Broncos. Boise is 5-0. Colorado State is 3-3. That game is at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:15 p.m. Central Time on ESPN2. So with that game night, I'm gonna pick Boise State. Colorado State, I don't think they have what it takes to knock down Boise State. Boise State is they blue field. They feeling themselves right now. You got to give it to Boise State. So I look at this game to be 42-35. 42-35. Boise State over the Colorado State Rams. So there you have it, folks. Those are my picks for this weekend, for today. In college football, that's what I feel like the games, how the games are gonna go. Like I said, you had one game that played yesterday, which was Louisville, ranked number 7, playing the Duke Blue Devils. Lamar Jackson had a QB rating of 121, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, but he probably rushed for more than anything. He was 13 for 26 for 181 yards, but he rushed for 144 yards with 21 attempts. Jones for the Blue Devils, Daniel Jones, his QB rating was a 149, which is nice. 14 for 21, 129 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, Louisville, of course, like they say, they got Lamar Jackson. He's a whole Heisman hopeful as well. So you just got to look at it. He is a sight to see. If you haven't watched the Louisville game, you must watch a Louisville game. That man is a highlight reel himself. It's fun to watch that guy play. It is. It's really fun to watch that guy play. He plays a great game. But they defeat the Duke Blue Devils 24-14. So a great game by him. Again for Lamar Jackson, who is definitely a Heisman hopeful. So soon we will see who the top candidates are for the Heisman. Not too long from now. I mean, like we say, we got Lamar Jackson, we got Deshaun Watson, we got J.T. Barrett. Just to name a few. It's a couple of quarterbacks and running backs out there that's doing things out there to be put their name in the pool for Heisman of 2016-17 season. So like I said, with that being said, that has been my picks for NCAA college football today. I appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in to my podcast. If you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. I really, really appreciate it. Stay tuned for later on. I'll give you a recap of today's games after they're finished to let you know how I fared in regards to my predictions. Also, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you like my podcast. Also, share my podcast with any of your family and friends, letting them know, give me if they like to see predictions or like to hear, a few things in regards to how the college football top 25 football games turn out. Please share my podcast with them and things of that nature. Again, this has been the Power 3 podcast, and it's been your host, Sean, a.k.a. Bishop. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great Saturday, a great college football Saturday. Enjoy, be safe. God bless you, and I'm out this piece.